for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports some 500,000 customers remained without power throughout the eastern United States on Sunday evening, and New England coastal communities faced more flooding 2 days after a powerful storm snapped trees, downed wires, and killed at least 9 people. The remnants of the storm, called a nor'easter, lingered on Sunday, with the National Weather Service posting coastal flooding advisories in effect until Monday morning in much of the U.S. Northeast, even after the storm had passed. Some 500,000 customers still lacked power, according to data provided by 10 major utilities in the Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Northeast. At one point, 2 million customers had lost power. The brunt of the storm hit on Friday, packing hurricane-force winds in excess of 90 miles per hour and sending seawater churning into the streets of Boston and nearby shore towns, marking the second time this year the area has been flooded. AccuWeather said the storm dumped as much as 18 inches of snow on parts of New York State and Pennsylvania. The Massachusetts town of East Bridgewater received nearly 6 inches of rain. The storm also snarled transportation from the Mid-Atlantic into New England, with hundreds of flights being canceled into and out of New York and Boston over the weekend. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following reports of a newly posted job listing at area marketing firm Swenson Digital, The Onion spoke to a few of the 1,400 applicants who claim they are, quote, absolutely perfect for this position.
When I first saw this opening, I knew it was right for me. I've got tons of experience. I've got all the skills they're looking for.
If you look at my resume, I've got everything they're looking for. I mean, I've held similar jobs like this in the past. I'm extremely driven. I really think this is going to work out.
I've got a BA in marketing, which the posting said was recommended, so I think that'll bode really well for me. I've had plenty of team experience, and I think that would stand out. Not to mention the fact that I'm great with
web design and HTML, and pretty proficient with Excel and PowerPoint. Also, I think the culture is
very me, you know. I think I'd fit in well with the other employees. I also think I had a great
resume and cover letter. I think as soon as they interview me, they'll see I'm the perfect candidate.
As of this video's release, Swenson Digital had extended a job offer to an applicant who happens to be a friend of the boss's son.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. You can dial in toll-free and join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Coming up here tonight, a man wrongfully imprisoned in the state of Kansas for a couple of decades of his life. We'll tell you what he got out of that deal. Coming up here in moments. With you in the studio, by the way, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
And also on the way here tonight, Melanie will be telling us about the new £5 bill in the UK. It's hurting people who are snorting cocaine. But first, also from the UK and TheVerge.com, frustrated by the number of potholes pockmarking his city streets, an anonymous man recently discovered a way to get the city to pay attention. Penises. The man has been using industrial chalk to draw penises around each pothole, claiming that the eyesores expedite the filling process.
That's probably true.
Probably does. Now, I'm curious if he's being charged with vandalism, if he's being charged with some kind of, or, you know, are they saying, we are looking for someone so that we can charge him with vandalism and some kind of something without a city permit? Because remember, we've covered stories out of like Mississippi and other places where people have gone out on their own and filled the potholes.
They've taken it into their own hands. They've been frustrated with the government's slowness when it comes to responding to,
and then they get charged with some kind of
like interference
violation,
with government administration or something.
Interference
like that.
of government administration, some kind of doing something without a permit. There was the story out of Massachusetts where the guy who was on the town council got fed up with the town council being so slow. He went out and repainted the crosswalks himself. Then was not only charged with improving town property without a permit, but also vandalism, and then forced to personally pay out of pocket the money to have the professionals paint the crosswalks.
And then there was the old guy, and I forget where this was, but there was an older gentleman who built a set of stairs down a decline on like a kind of a small hill. Hills, it's really small, like it was a small set of stairs, but people were getting injured trying to, it was like at a public park, and they were trying to go down this particular decline, and he decided he was going to take it under his own hands and go ahead and put some stairs in there, but the county or the city or whoever it was decided that this was not built to code, and so therefore it's dangerous.
And also no permit.
And no permit, right. And so therefore they sent a crew in to destroy his stairs. I presume then build a new set of government stairs at 10 times the cost.
Something like that.
Because the old guy was able to come in there, do it all himself, source his own wood, and it cost the community $0 to have the old man's stairs, and it cost the community quite a bit to have the government's professional version of the very same thing. So, yeah, there are no shortages of stories out there, and I love these stories because it's nice when people finally take the initiative and get out there and improve their community, not expecting the government to do it for them. And it really just shows how awful the state can be when they target somebody who's obviously taking of their own time and money and their own effort to make things better for folks. They then come down on them like a ton of bricks and make sure they remind everybody that they're the ones who are in charge. They're the ones who will be taking your money. They are the ones who will be arbitrarily spending that money, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And if you try to do it on your own, we will attack you. We will threaten you. We will destroy the things that you created. F you. And it just makes it clear to people like the government isn't there to help. If the government was actually there to help, they might have given some suggestions of like, oh yeah, this is good. Maybe you could add a railing to the stairs for people that are, they need to hold on to something when they go down. Or I don't know if it had a railing or not.
I believe it had a railing on one side.
Yeah. So in this particular case, the BBC is actually the original report here. Amelia Butterly reporting that they actually received apparently some sort of an anonymous communique from the artist in this case. At this point, this person is a mystery. We do not know who the penis artist is.
I wonder if it's Banksy.
Well, they've actually signed it as Wanksy, is what they've been signing the art.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so, quote, the potholes, don't get filled. They'll be there for months, says the artist. Speaking anonymously to Newsbeat, he said further, or she said further, people will drive over the same pothole and forget about it. Suddenly, you draw something amusing around it, everyone sees it, and it either gets reported or fixed, unquote. He says the drawings have meant the potholes get fixed more quickly, although Barrie Council says they already have a plan in place to deal with the issue.
That is not a contradiction. They could still have a plan and it get done more quickly when he draws on them.
No doubt about it.
The plan is that every time somebody draws a penis around a pothole, we take care of that pothole first.
Spokesbureaucrat for the council describes the artwork as obscene and urges him to stop his painting. Well, it's not paint, it's chalk.
All right, so I'm looking at pictures here.
Of the penises? The chalk penis?
They're cartoony.
Well, yeah, it's chalk.
They're not obscene. There's one of them that looks like the Loch Ness penis.
Okay.
You've seen the pictures of the Loch Ness Monster, where it's got like one part at the end, and then it goes down in the water, and then there's a hump, and then it goes down in the water, and then the head comes out.
Yeah.
One of them looks like that.
I see.
And then, they're just cartoony. They're not
of course
graphic.
They're cartoony.
Well, he's not a medical artist. What did you think it was going to look like?
No, I'm saying it's cartoony. it's not obscene.
Sure. No, look, when it comes to obscenity, it's what the government judge thinks is obscene, right? The old line is, I'll know it when I see it.
I know it when I see it, and this ain't it.
Well, I agree with you there. But for people with children, they will likely object to something like this because it still looks like a penis, even though it's cartoony.
They look like deformed potatoes with little lines shooting out of them.
Yes, that's true. It is a ejaculatory penis. But anyway, going on here, the spokesman for the council claims it's obscene. The Bury, or however they pronounce it over there, Bury, council spokesman says, quote, "The actions of this individual are not only stupid, but incredibly insulting to local residents."
How is that insulting?
Well, some people take this stuff real personally.
But it's not a statement against you.
No.
Things that are not a statement about you cannot, by definition, be insulting.
Yeah. Let's go to, ironic title here. Andy wants to talk about Dick's Sporting Goods. Andy, you're on Free Talk Live watching via Twitch. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey. Thank you for taking my call, first off. It's funny how we're talking about dicks and drawings of penises. That's funny. But anyway, I have a quick question for everybody here. So everybody's heard about the recent gun drama and drama about surrounding gun laws and such.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys have heard, but Dick's Sporting Goods has announced that they will only start selling weapons and firearms to people 21 years of age or older.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What is your opinion on that?
That's not all that they announced. If that was all that they announced, I would have no problem with their announcement.
That's the
because
thing I got the
they're
most
allowed
problem
to
with.
do what they want to do.
Well, you can still have a problem with it. Like, hey, I'm not going to shop there anymore. You can still decide that you don't agree with their business decision.
The part of the decision that I don't agree with is we are going to advocate that governments make policies of the things that we are personally implementing.
Yikes. Yeah,
that's
bad.
what I have
That's
a problem
worse.
with.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Right.
So
let me also put this in there too. So I don't know if you guys remember about the controversy surrounding the Christian bakers not wanting to bake a gay wedding cake.
Yeah.
They refused to service a homosexual couple.
That's correct.
But you have liberals against that, but some liberals are supporting dicks in their decision.
Sure.
With upping your age requirement.
Because nobody is really against discrimination. They're just against the things that they want to be against.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're against or in favor of discrimination. Like
it's discrimination both ways, though.
Right. And we, on Free Talk Live, and I don't want to put words in y'all's mouth, but I think I can in this case, we tend to favor the businesses being able to discriminate. That doesn't mean we support those businesses in their discrimination.
Right. Well, they should post up signs saying, here's the people that we don't want to do business with.
Andy, if you had more, you're welcome to stay. If not, thanks for the call. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. It is getting closer and closer to the dreaded April 15th tax day. You probably haven't done it yet, and, well, you can keep procrastinating, or you can contact Melanie and have her take you through the process, have her handle as much of it as possible for you. She can do that. She is a professional accountant in addition to being a talk show host here on Free Talk Live, and she offers her services to both individuals and, would you say, small businesses? Hold on. You're still muted for some reason. Try now.
Yeah, small businesses. I don't know what people's idea of a small business is.
How is small? How small is small?
So,
like a certain number of employees?
Less than a couple hundred employees, typically.
Okay. Certain amount of revenue, less than that?
Not really.
No?
Typing in $1 million doesn't really take
Doesn't make
much
a difference. Okay.
more time than typing in $10.
So you can handle that for folks. You also do some bookkeeping work, so if folks want to bring you on for that as well, you can help them there. And the best way to get in touch with you is through your website, which you can access by going to tax.freetalklive.com. It's not too late to bring Melanie on board. And actually, I was just talking with you today. We went to the cryptocurrency meetup here in town, and you had said that a good chunk, like the majority of the people who've come on board as clients of yours, are paying with cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool. So that is an option for you, although she will take the Federal Reserve notes if you insist on that as well. So you can reach out to Melanie directly by going to tax.freetalklive.com, and that'll take you straight to her website. Again, it's not too late, and you probably still want to get on it sooner rather than later now that you have all your paperwork, your W-2s and that sort of thing that might have been sent to you, 1099s or whatever else it is that companies send out to you. Once you get all that stuff together, that's a good time to reach out to you, right, Mel?
Yes. If you don't have anything by now, maybe call me anyway and see what's up with that, because you should have anything that people sent you by now.
She can help. She knows her stuff. Go to tax.freetalklive.com. You want to have an anarchist doing your taxes, obviously. All right, so we're going to continue here with a gentleman who was on the line, had dropped off. We were discussing the discrimination. He brought up the question about, Dick's Sporting Goods. And did I hear that Walmart was also going to do 21 and up, or did they stay at 18?
They said 21 and up, but they also said that several of the, assault-style weapon, blah-da-da, they've not been selling for like 4 years anyway.
I see. So this is all, of course, in response to public outcry surrounding the latest school shooting, which I believe was somebody who was under the age of 21, correct? Like under the age of 18, wasn't it?
He was a recent graduate, so probably.
Yeah, so...
He was either 18 or 19. He had been expelled. Which is why he wasn't actually attending at the time. But he was either 18 or 19.
Did any of the news media investigate how he got the guns? Was that ever revealed?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So in a lot of cases, these guns are stolen anyway. So it's, taken from parents or taken from grandmother or something like that. So the idea that some store refusing to sell to people under the age of 21 is going to somehow have any kind of impact on a psychopath and their ability to acquire weapons is just... It's fantasy. It's just public relations.
That's why we need to have a requirement that your gun safe be put inside a gun safe.
Okay. That sounds crazy.
Because then, there's no way that your 17 or 18-year-old kid can break into 2 gun safes to get the thing.
I mean, or you could just not raise a psychopath, or you could not send him to a public institution every day, or if you realize that you are raising a psychopath that you are sending to a public institution every day, maybe you should take preventative measures at that point. There's so many things that you could do that do not involve a sporting goods store, and it is in no way the fault of Walmart.
But certainly it is within the purview of a company to make a decision like that. It's their policy. As you pointed out, Darryl, they're taking their policy further by advocating the government pass similar laws, which is very objectionable. But it's still objectionable, and you can, even though they have the freedom to have a policy like that, it's still within our purview to say, well, that policy sucks, and shame on you,
well,
dicks,
right, and
for
that's
even
why
having that in
I
the first
want
place.
them to be able to do that, so I can say I'm not gonna buy things from those stores.
Right.
And Walmart probably wasn't selling a whole lot of rifles in the first place. And if another sporting goods store decides they don't want to sell rifles anymore, maybe that, if that product line's not working for you, fine. But when the age cutoff is really what bothers me. And so I want to know who's doing that, so I can be like, okay, I'm over 21 now, so I don't have to deal with this anymore. But at one time I did, and I'm not a very forgiving person, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just not going to shop at you.
I'm just curious, of the people that are calling for, boycotts of Dick's Sporting Goods, how many of those people were actually customers of Dick's Sporting Goods to begin with?
I was.
I've shopped there before, but it's probably been 5 years or something like that.
Right, but it's not a thing of you go there on a regular basis to buy stuff.
I haven't bought guns
I've also
there,
not
but
heard you, Ian,
buy...
say that they should be boycotted.
I have not said that, no.
I haven't bought guns there, but I typically buy ammo there, and I used to buy luggage and locks and stuff like that.
I think you have to be careful with a boycott, because a lot of times a well-publicized boycott can result in what they call a Buycott, where the people who are in favor of that company doing the thing that they did will then come out in force, as we saw with, for instance, the Chik-fil-a episode, if you recall, several years ago.
But
there's a lot of Christians who buy chicken sandwiches. There's not a lot of liberals that buy ammo.
Well, here's the difference between the Chick-fil-A thing. Chick-fil-A, to my
Liberals
knowledge...
might play sports, though, right? Dick's has way more than just guns. You see what I'm saying? Like, they could go and buy
I don't
football.
know. They're basically just a clothing and gun
They could
store.
buy a hacky sack then. I don't know. There's something there, right?
They
that
sell
the
all kinds of camping stuff,
right?
fishing
Liberals
stuff.
like to camp. I don't know about
sports
fish.
stuff, but I have never heard of a Chick-fil-A where when you go in and say, I would like to order a chicken sandwich, they say, by the way, are you a homosexual? That doesn't happen.
No, there's never been...
Gay people eat chicken sandwiches too.
And there's never been any allegation that I've ever heard of that Chick-fil-A has refused service to gay people.
Right.
I mean, but at the same time, nobody should be surprised to find out that Chick-fil-A was a Christian restaurant.
No, it's on their documentation when you're in the restaurant. Frequently...
Yeah, it's like, oh, by this door and stuff.
Yeah, like
they've got a big giant sign that says, we are closed on Sundays. Yeah. Here's the reason why.
They really do. They really do explain that. I remember reading on like the bag that they had the food in some sort of explanation about like from the founder or something about why they close on Sundays, which is always the day I want to go to Chick-fil-A. Anytime. If I'm in Florida, anytime. When I live down there, man, they're everywhere, and I would only notice them or think about them on Sundays.
I mean, but so like
and I hated that because I love their food.
As annoying as and wrong as that can be, because the one here is weird. It has gay parades, so I almost want to separate that one. But
the Nashua Chick-fil-A supports the gay community.
As wrong as Chick-fil-A is, they're not going to necessarily be harmed if gay people don't eat there. So from a strategic standpoint, it kind of makes sense for them to do that, because there are going to be people apparently
for who to do what?
For Chick-fil-A to do that.
Do what?
To discriminate against gay people, even though it's...
But they're not.
From a...
The CEO has made donations to, campaigns to fight against same-sex marriage.
It's pretty much the We Hate Gay People restaurant. But a gun store being against guns kind of makes less sense.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, but none of that rebuts the point I was making, which was that a boycott can result in a boycott, and that boycott may actually bring more business to the company than the boycott took away from.
Right, but the company already publicly stated it.
There's more coming up here in moments. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. You can join us here and take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And also forgot to mention that we've got Discord as well. You can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners and some of the hosts of the show, as well as jump into our on-air call-in line on Discord. There's a chat room there that allows you to get on the air with us and sound almost like you're sitting in the studio here with us. So you can go to discord.lrn.fm if you would like to get into that. It is free. That's discord.lrn.fm. As we continue here, we had actually started the show out tonight talking about Wanksy, which is not to be confused with Banksy, the British artist who has been creating all manner of interesting kind of social commentary artwork in different places. But this person has been doing a bit of artwork that is offensive in a different way. He has been painting, or rather chalking, with what they call industrial chalk. I'm not sure how you can tell the difference between industrial chalk and regular chalk when you're just looking at it. But either
Probably
way,
washes away less.
you think?
I would imagine.
Well, either way, this particular chalk is being chalked in the form of penises, and interestingly, they're being done around potholes. So the idea from the artist, who is currently anonymous, police, I'm sure, are busily investigating his, his whereabouts and who he or she might actually be.
And this is Manchester, UK.
Correct. I don't know. Did it say Manchester?
It did say When I saw the headline, my first thought was it was happening in part of New Hampshire.
Nope. This is the UK, and it is Manchester. Bury Council, or the Bury Council. Maybe Bury is a town or village or something like that.
Probably a shire.
But spokesbureaucrat for the council describes the artwork as obscene, while the artist is saying, hey, this is working. This is getting the road crew to actually come out and repair these damn potholes. Before, you could call them, and you could email them. You could try to get their attention and say, hey, there's a pothole here in my neighborhood. People are popping their tires on this thing, and they won't come and fix it. But all of a sudden, you chalk a penis around it, and they are Johnny on the spot to cover that thing up. As one of the Bury Council spokesbureaucrats says, quote, has this person for just 1 second considered how families with young children must feel when they are confronted with these obscene symbols as they walk to school? Has he considered for 1 second the children? And you know what? It's funny that the whole thing's hilarious, but there was a similar situation that actually developed here in Keene, New Hampshire during the War on Chalk, as some of us lovingly refer to it. A few summers ago, there were activists in Keene's Central Square, which is kind of the common in downtown Keene.
Yep.
It's a nice little park right in the heart of downtown. That activists, including Garrett Ian, who was one of the Free Keene bloggers, he would chalk things in downtown. It would chalk like smiley faces or pro-peace sayings and other pro-freedom propaganda downtown, and there were some angry haters in town who would come down with scrub brushes on brooms and buckets, and they'd fill up water from there was like a fountain right in the middle of Central Square. It sometimes operates, sometimes not, but they would fill water from the fountain and then use that to splash and scrub away.
Because happy faces are just really horrible, and no one should ever see one.
They were really offended by
little kids
smiley faces.
Hopping scotch.
Yep, hopscotch. Anything that was chalk was a target for these people. And so it turned into this ongoing chalk war where every single day the activists would go down, they would chalk things, and then this guy who would come down, who we ended up calling Boston Strong, because he was from Boston. I think at one point he had a shirt on.
He was wearing a Boston Strong T-shirt one day.
So he came down. He would come down every single day. In fact, he ended up coming down twice a day. He would come down before he went to work in the morning at like 4 o'clock because he was a plumber. And then he'd come back at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon when he would, be coming back home. And he would check the park twice a day and scrub away any kind of chalk that was there. And so it just was this ongoing conflict in the park. There were some pretty ridiculous videos that I made about it, including footage of all of this happening. If you search freekeen.com for War on Chalk, you should find pretty much all of those. But at one point there was somebody, and we don't know who it was, who did chalk a fairly large phallus in front of a local candy store in downtown Keene. It wasn't any kind of political statement. It didn't really fit with the things that were being chalked by our activists in Central Square. It wasn't at the same location. It was over on the sort of the corner of the square, if you will. And somebody who witnessed it did say that they didn't think it was any of our people. So, of course, we ended up getting the blame for it in a lot of ways because any chalkings that happened downtown must have been our fault.
Oh,
right?
And you forgot that there was a homeless awareness event where
I didn't forget.
People were chalking, and then the a-hole that was scrubbing chalk went and wound up washing all of that away as well.
He did it during their event,
During the event.
Yeah, and it ended up in the newspaper that these... And it was like a local church group that was there to raise awareness for homeless issues. So it wasn't homeless people doing the chalking. It was the church group.
It was like a homeless vigil or something.
Something like that. And it was in the middle of the afternoon, and this guy shows up in the middle of them chalking and just comes right up and just starts brushing it away and acting like a maniac. And he ended up in... they talked about him in the newspaper, but they didn't identify who he was.
Right.
And I'm like, I know who this guy is. So I contacted the group that was doing the chalkings, and I said, hey, can I send you a picture of this guy? Did you know who he was? They said, no, we don't know who he is, but we'd like to. And I was like, let me send you a picture, and you can say whether or not it was him. And sure enough, it was Boston Strong. So I said, oh, yeah, it's this guy. And, Matthew Schmidt is his name. And
funny thing is, when Robin Williams passed away, and there was the sort of makeshift memorial, and people were chalking
Keene
stuff,
because
he didn't go out and scrub those away.
Yeah, I guess he didn't do that. Yeah, that's true. I don't know why not. Maybe he just
maybe
felt
it was kind of over in his mind.
It might have been. That might have been past the...
Memorial to Robin Williams, okay. Chalking, end the wars, and peace signs. That's offensive.
Well, I mean, if he had known about it, I think he probably would have gone down and done something about it. Maybe he just wasn't aware that was happening. Or maybe it was too high profile.
I think he knew about it. Too high profile.
Yeah,
because people were leaving flowers and all kinds of other stuff.
So that was the war on chalk as it happened here. But there was at one point that phallus that was done. So City of Keene ought to be thankful that we didn't think of this one, because this is like a really smart idea. And maybe
there was no reason to do. There's not like potholes all over Keene.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. You can find potholes.
Just go down River Street.
You can find potholes on every damn street in Keene.
When you turn out of the LRN studio, take a left.
I'm pretty sure there's potholes right here on the street, right out in front of the studio. But anyway,
so no matter which way she turns left, she's hitting potholes.
I've never seen it. I don't know.
I can't believe you've lived here for what, 3 years? 2 years? How long?
I lived in Keene for 1 year. I lived in Manchester.
They're everywhere in the state. I mean, are you saying are they in Manchester but not Keene?
I didn't say in New Hampshire. I said in Keene.
Okay. Well, I mean,
now, you said that somebody on the town council here said that the penis drawings are offensive.
Yes.
Maybe they should rename their city, because the name Manchester. Translate the article that I saw.
I never thought about that before. That is,
what is that, Manchester?
The thing that I saw said that it was Manchester. Manchester is a Britannic Latinization of the Latin name Mamucium, which means breast-like hill. Comes from the same word as mammary.
Really?
The town is named after breasts.
That's amazing. You know what? I have learned something new here tonight. Thank you for that, Darryl. So, there you go. There's more to the story, though, a little bit more here from the BBC. The spokesperson for the council is upset because of the families, while the artist tells Newsbeat, quote, "It's not an actual photograph of an anatomical part, it's a drawing."
That looks like artwork. A potato.
He says the naked body is a thing artists have painted for years. There are sculptures that don't wear clothes. It's artistic expressions. And by the way, when I was a child in elementary school, they took us to the Ringling Museum of Art in Sarasota, Florida, and that's where they have like a statue of David. They have all those old paintings by those, old artists that have a bunch of naked people in them, and they had an elementary school class touring around. Should we have been offended by that too?
Probably.
It's Free Talk Live. You can share your thoughts.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories. While I say these hobgoblins are imaginary, I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
If you owe money to the IRS...
It's the Onion Radio News. Raccoon leaders call for the loosening of garbage can lids. This is Doyle Redland reporting. In a 4 a.m. speech at the group's annual Washington, D.C. convention this morning, North American Raccoon Federation President Bristletail called upon homeowners to loosen the lids of their garbage cans, providing the ring-tailed mammals with greater access to discarded food scraps during nocturnal scavenging.
Every time you seal a standard 30-gallon garbage can, as many as 6 raccoons are forced to go without their necessary daily supply of congealed baked beans, rancid cottage cheese chunks, and moldy cantaloupe rinds.
The 26-pound varmint closed his speech with a stern warning that without raccoons, possums could take over the world. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us on the radio here and take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, whether it's the war on chalk or boycotts and boycotts. We've also been talking about chalked penises around potholes in the city of Manchester, England. We'll tell you more about that because the city council spokesbureaucrat, who is very, very offended over these chalked penises, has more to say. So we'll share that with you. With you in the studio tonight, though, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
And we're going to continue here with your calls and thoughts. Also want you to know about Zencash.com. Zencash is a cryptocurrency, and I realize there are a lot of cryptocurrencies out there. It's an overwhelming number of choices. So what do? How do you pick a winner? Well, I have no idea because I don't know what the market is going to do in the future. But I know that I like voluntarism, and the people who created Zencash are voluntarists. They wrote it right into the white paper. Didn't they even mention secession in the white paper? So, I mean, that's awesome. But also they've taken some of the best technology like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, which they're building for Zencash to govern the currency. They've created a secure platform for money and messages that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. And Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. You can find out more at Zencash.com. Over 7,000 secure nodes are now creating the Zencash blockchain. They are making it one of the strongest blockchains in the world. Plus, there are as many as 50 team members these days, and originally there were only 5. So there's been a lot of growth for Zencash in just the last year since it came out in 2017. It's available in multiple exchanges for you to purchase, and also the wallets are available in multiple languages. So go to Zencash.com, do your research, learn more about it as we go to your calls and thoughts. All the way out to Bullhead City, Arizona, where Rudy is on the line listening to K-Talks. Hello, Rudy.
Hey, guys. Sorry about my voice, but you were talking about the Dick's Sporting Goods store or any store that's going to wait till people are 21 before they can buy the gun.
Yeah.
You know, it was I don't know how the corporation known as Dick's is set up, but you know, there's either board of directors or the share. There was a business decision. They talked about it. The lawyers talked about it. Everybody. I think sometimes if you're a shareholder with enough shares, you actually get involved in the vote on some things, but. It was ran by all the important people, and they realized we'll lose some, we'll gain some.
Mm-hmm.
It's a PR move anyway, right?
It's a total PR move because it's not going to actually stop gun violence at all.
And it's it's a little bit of good for the people that are worried about the guns. You know, it's a PR move.
They're pandering to one group of customers or a group of people they hope are their customers or hope will be their customers, and they're willing to lose a certain group of customers. It's a gamble, really. I mean, who knows which way it'll actually pan out for them. And can they actually measure it in any way, shape, or form? No, you can't really, on a company that large, you don't get any kind of real direct feedback from the customers in the stores in a lot of cases. You're not going to know if this boycott is hurting or if this new policy helps or hurts. I mean, you can look at your overall sales, but that doesn't tell you whether or not that there's any kind of effect from a boycott.
Right, and also, what percentage of their income is currently coming from gun sales to people under the age of 21?
Very small, I would imagine.
Very small. And then, like the broader question, what percentage of their income comes from gun sales?
I don't know. Rudy?
I'll bet you that there's a big chunk of their profit that comes from 8-year-old little leaguers.
Sure. Yeah, a bunch of kids playing sports. Absolutely.
They ran the numbers. All right, thanks, bye.
Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Rudy. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Now, it's not necessarily the question of how many people do they have who are under the age of 21 who are buying guns. It's also how many people are upset enough about that decision to stop buying from Dick's entirely.
And it's not just that. I mean, most people, I think, who are mad about this one way or the other are mad about guns. This is kind of less of a gun issue for me. This is we're going to hate on 18 to 20-year-old issues for me, which, they get enough of that from the state.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
Just for that reason alone. Like, I don't care if it's guns. I don't care if it's Tic Tacs. If you come out and say, I'm not going to sell this to 18 to 20-year-olds.
That's offensive. I agree with you.
That in and of itself, see ya.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I mean, I have no plans to go to Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know if I'm going to officially boycott them, but on the other hand, I'm certainly not going to make any efforts to go there.
I don't think I've purchased anything from Dick's that was not on sale ever, because their prices are really high.
Yeah, you can just go on Amazon.
Yeah.
Use Purse. Save at purse.com.
Yes.
Save 33%.
I'm way too impatient for that. I just used to buy...
You're missing out,
man.
It
depends on what I need. If it's like, I need this in the future sometime, and it's like, I'm going to go buy Targets. I can buy them for like $5 now, or I can buy a pack of 300 and wait 2 months for, whatever. I'm just going to buy them.
So I just wound up within the last day and a half buying some supplements that I put in my smoothies and just tossed it up. All right, I'll put it at 15%, and I might get it by the end of the week. I got something earlier today, tracking number. It's supposed to be here tomorrow.
They did a next day on it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Bought $60 worth of stuff, and all right, good. It's going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, everything I've got on Purse right now, I don't really need urgently, so I just set it at 33%, and 3 out of the 5 things have already supposedly been shipped. So
nice.
Yeah. Check it out at saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com. You're going to need to have Bitcoin in order to get these amazing discounts. That's the catch over at Purse. You get it pretty much whatever you want from Amazon at a tremendous discount. You select the discount. So if you're in more of a hurry, 15% almost always is going to go same day within an hour or a couple hours of when you place the order. 20%, 25%, you might be waiting a day or so. And then at 30% or more, you might wait more than a week. It just depends on the market. So check it out. SaveATPurse.com. That's SaveAtPurse.com. All right, so a little more here from the town council spokesbureaucrat. He's mad about this. As the artist says, though, the artist who's drawing penises in chalk around potholes around Manchester, says that the naked body is a thing artists have painted for years. There are sculptures that don't wear clothes. It's artistic expressions. To be offended by that...
This is not artistic.
Yeah, it is.
This is political. It is in no way artistic.
You can have both.
It's both.
It can be, but this isn't.
It's by definition artistic. Somebody is creating artwork on the sidewalk. You may not think it's high quality.
It's not on the level of, say, the Sistine Chapel ceiling.
Right.
But it's better art than, say, what a 3-year-old would draw.
So if I just go draw a smiley face when I get home, that's art?
That is art.
Yes.
No, that is ridiculous.
It's not fine art. It's not art that somebody would pay for.
All right,
but it is art.
It is art if the creator says it is art.
Okay, I would just like to declare that when I draw smiley faces, it's not art.
It's also in the eye of the beholder. So somebody can look at something and say that is art, even if you say it was not intended to be art. Because you've created something, right? Artwork generally is a creation, although you could say that there's art in nature as well. But that's more of a stretch of a different interpretation of the term. But artwork is
photography can be art.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a creation. You're creating a moment in time based on certain filters and lenses that you, as the creator, have selected in order to do that. And as we saw, that it was even a monkey that took some photographs that were very artistic.
Yes, the monkey selfie that wound up actually going to court.
Yeah, that's
over
right.
whether or not the monkey owned the picture or the guy that owned the camera owned the picture.
Didn't they end up ruling in favor of the guy in that case?
Not really.
No? Okay.
Not really. There was some kind of agreement to where he would say that he didn't necessarily own it, but it wasn't necessarily...
There was a settlement? Is what you're saying?
He had sued National Geographic because they published it, and he claimed, you can't publish that because I didn't give you permission.
What a jerk,
But
man.
the actual reading of IP law is that creations by animals and deities are public domain.
Creations by deities?
And deities.
Yes. So if you let's say that, you find a stone tablet or something, and you're like, God wrote on this stone tablet, you cannot claim...
So wait, if you claim that you are channeling God and you write down the things that God told you to write, does that...
That would probably need a ruling from the Patent and Trademark and Copyright Office.
So if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I think that art is certainly something that people will disagree on, right? Like, so you're
Yes.
saying you don't think that that's art, and I'm saying, yes, that is art. This has been one of the arguments about art for a long time. Is
So
that
when a 3-year-old makes the little hand-drawn turkey for Thanksgiving, is that art or no? It's not good art.
You couldn't make that argument because, I mean, they're 3, but, like, if my 3-year-old was like, hey, I made this art, I'm not going to argue with them about that, but it doesn't really belong in a museum either.
I didn't say that the penis painting belonged in a museum. I'm just saying it's art.
All right, there's more on the way here. 855-450, free like freedom. You can join us here. Hour number 2 is next. 855-450-3733. And share your thoughts with us on whatever's on your mind here on Free Talk Live. Coming up, Facebook threatens the Babylon Bee. We'll tell you what it's about coming up.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.49 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $38, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,510. Antiwar.com reports Syria's latest offensive in the Damascus suburb of eastern Ghouta, which began last week, has been a violent continuation to a violent siege on the rebel-held area. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad says the offensive is going to continue in the name of fighting terrorism. Territory is changing hands, however, with the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights claiming that the Syrian army has taken roughly a quarter of what remained of the rebel enclave, with civilians fleeing deeper into the ever-shrinking area. Eastern Ghouta has been rebel-held virtually throughout the war, with Syrian forces having negotiated evacuation deals with some rebels along the outskirts last year and now looking to clear the rest of it of rebel fighters. This area is the last substantial rebel-held holding this close to the capital city. The hope had been that a recent ceasefire would ease the situation and give way to some sort of negotiated settlement, though the rebels have largely spurned the idea of evacuating the area, and the Assad government seems determined to resolve the situation militarily in the absence of a quick deal. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. LRN.fm.co.
UPI reports a charity set up in the name of Philando Castile, a Minnesota man who was shot and killed by a police officer, has paid the school lunch debt for students at every public school in the St. Paul area. Philando Castile was killed in July 2016 by former St. Anthony, Minnesota police officer Geronimo Yanez in a shooting death that was live-streamed on Facebook at the time. Before his death, Castile was a cafeteria worker at a public school in St. Paul who was known to pay the lunch cost for students who could not pay their own. Pamela Fergus, a professor at Metro State University who runs the charity, told local media Philando was famous for that. His mother told me that every day he would call her after leaving his job at J.J. Hill Montessori Magnet School and talk about the kids. Another kid didn't have money in his account, so Philando would take $3 out of his pocket and pay that kid's lunch for the day. Fergus said as of Sunday, the charity Philando Feeds the Children had raised more than $100,000 and dropped off a check for $35,000 to cover the entire school lunch debt at all 56 public schools in the St. Paul area. The rest of the funds will be used to cover more school lunch debt at other schools. A statement on the charity's website states, "The goal continues to rise because we continue to challenge ourselves and the greater community to make this fund permanent."
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports some 500,000 customers remained without power throughout the eastern United States on Sunday evening, and New England coastal communities faced more flooding 2 days after a powerful storm snapped trees, downed wires, and killed at least 9 people. The remnants of the storm, called a nor'easter, lingered on Sunday, with the National Weather Service posting coastal flooding advisories in effect until Monday morning in much of the U.S. Northeast, even after the storm had passed. Some 500,000 customers still lacked power, according to data provided by 10 major utilities in the Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Northeast. At one point, 2 million customers had lost power. The brunt of the storm hit on Friday, packing hurricane-force winds in excess of 90 miles per hour and sending seawater churning into the streets of Boston and nearby shore towns, marking the second time this year the area has been flooded. AccuWeather said the storm dumped as much as 18 inches of snow on parts of New York State and Pennsylvania. The Massachusetts town of East Bridgewater received nearly 6 inches of rain. The storm also snarled transportation from the Mid-Atlantic into New England, with hundreds of flights being canceled into and out of New York and Boston over the weekend. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
We're being attacked by news from all sides in tonight's News Blitz. Now we're homing in on Houston, Texas, where NASA announced today that the crew of the International Space Station has successfully completed their 13-year mission studying man's ability to constantly repair a large object in space. NASA officials hailed the remarkable feat of maintenance at a press conference this afternoon.
And throughout human history, man has gazed at the stars and dreamed of fixing something up there. People once thought the ultimate feat in human repair was a really big boat. Today, we've accomplished so much more.
This comes in the wake of NASA's previous success, finding out how many times an astronaut could hold something in his hand, then let it go, watch it float in front of his face for a bit, then catch it again. All right, dust yourself off. You have survived the News Blitz.
Tune in tomorrow morning to Today Now. We'll look back at Jim's week as a polygamist.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free to join us right here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.fm. As we launch here into the second hour of the show with you tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
And got all kinds of interesting things to talk about here tonight. Coming up, Darryl, you're going to be sharing with us a story that Facebook is threatening the Babylon Bee, which is a satire website. We'll tell you about that. And somebody wrongfully imprisoned in Kansas for a couple decades is released. What does he get for his his efforts of being imprisoned. We'll tell you about that. And you can, of course, bring up whatever you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Call us on Skype as well. Skype username is lrn.fm. And finally, you can also call us through Discord via our on-air call-in line over at discord.lrn.fm. But since we started in the UK, Melanie, you have a story from the United Kingdom where we were in the last hour talking about a man who was chalking penises around the potholes in the streets in order to get them fixed sooner. There's other news of interest out of the UK. What have you got?
So England recently released a new £5 bill, which some people have already complained about because it contains animal products. And the Hindus and vegetarians and vegans were understandably complaining about that.
This note isn't vegan friendly.
Apparently not.
I mean, that's not really the worst thing that can be wrong with a central bank note. But yeah, that was their issue. So apparently the bill is too hard. And if you use it to snort cocaine, it will cut your nose.
Oh, no.
I hate when that never happens to me.
Because you don't do cocaine.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when you only have a £5 bill and no straw or other piece of paper.
Right.
Wouldn't a straw also cut your nose? Possibly.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been cut by straws in my life, so I don't imagine they're particularly dangerous.
I've never been cut by currency either, but I've never tried to stick it up my nose either, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried cocaine a couple of times, and it doesn't really. I don't understand the appeal of it. I guess I'm not into stimulants like that, but yeah, it's an uncomfortable thing to insufflate a drug, and I never.
A straw's got to be cleaner though than currency.
Currency, yeah, you never know where that stuff's been.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. So that's
but
the objection
maybe that's
here.
part of the appeal is maybe this £5 note has been in a stripper's butt.
No, that doesn't sound appealing to me, Darryl. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
I can see how some people would think that was appealing. But
you can put whatever you want up your nose, buddy. Just
yeah, because isn't there sort of the meme, if you will, about snorting cocaine off of a hooker's butt?
Yep, there is something about that. Again, whatever it is that floats your boat. Now, in this case, speaking of floating, I did see video of a turtle that had gotten a piece of a straw stuck up its nose, and that was pretty harrowing.
Oh, that was brutal.
You saw that video where they extract it?
My eyes started watering.
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore.
Oh, it was horrible.
Now, I did find myself wondering in that case,
How did that happen?
Right, did the turtle actually inhale that on its own, or did some punk kid grab the turtle and shove the straw up there? Because it was up there so good.
It was the entire straw.
Was it the whole thing?
Yeah. You didn't watch the full video.
I remember it was long. I just don't remember how long it was.
Yeah, it was the whole thing, and they kept pulling off parts, and then it would break off, and then they'd pull a little more, and it would break.
Brutal. I mean, I just found myself wondering how that
turtle
could have
was
happened.
wincing, and blood was coming out of his eye.
I mean, how could that have happened on its own, right? Like,
I don't know.
I'm not saying turtles are the smartest things in the world, but I'm sure that you would know, right? Like that you were inhaling something that felt bad. So you could stop right away if you find yourself inhaling
a thing. Or it could have just been something to where, like it opened its nostril somehow and then it went in. And it's not like they've got fingers that they can go grab it out of their nose.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, we're never going to figure it out. We don't, we're just sitting here trying to speculate about it.
Right, we need that weird little memory thing that they've got in Black Mirror, and then find that turtle and put the little memory thing and then go rewatch his
cool,
memory.
Though.
So
they have that in Strange Days.
I have no clue what Strange Days is.
So if you like, it sounds like what you're talking about is the thing they have in Strange Days. In that, they have this squid device that you put on your head, and it can play back other people's experiences as though you're experiencing it, basically. And so there's a black market in these experiences. So it's legal to sort of have some experiences, but not legal to have other experiences, I think. Or maybe the whole thing's black market. But either way, the movie's about the black market side of that. So like people experiencing somebody committing a robbery, right? Or somebody experiencing some sort of sex or whatever. And it was an interesting movie. It was a Catherine Bigelow movie that takes place at the end of the 20th century. So it all kind of happens as the year 2000 is coming on, and it's a pretty cool film. The intro to that, I actually watched the commentary track to that movie, and one of the things that's really neat about the first scene in that movie is it appears to be an uninterrupted first-person kind of like scene of a robbery, basically.
Okay.
And it goes on for a long time, and you can't really see the cuts in the scene, so it looks like it's just this continuous playback of somebody's experience. And it was a pretty cool film, so check that out. It's called Strange Days. Anyway, toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. So that's the concern, is that the bills are dangerous to cokeheads?
Well, yeah, so, and people originally thought that they would be really good to snort coke with, apparently, because they rolled up really well, but they are scratching the inside of people's noses, and people have officially complained about this.
So apparently
I'm
it's not a
assuming
problem.
cocaine is illegal in England.
It is. I'm pretty sure about that. So apparently the fact that when you inhale, cocaine into your nose, you insufflate, as they call it, into your nose, the fact that actually damages the inside of your nose, that's not the problem. Causing actual bleeding just because of the act that you're doing. It's the cuts from the straw that are the problem.
So
apparently.
then the Department of Health
damaging like your sinuses or
an agent from the Department of Health has stated that if you are sharing banknotes, you can spread Hep B, Hep C, and HIV. Now, this is all kind of ridiculous, and you should just get a straw.
Yeah.
But from kind of a less silly perspective, so some, coke addict is cutting himself because he doesn't have any bill other than $5. And
presumably they're all going to be this formulation eventually, right? Like they started with the 5s, and they're
so then it's
going to
be even a big problem. So even if you don't do coke, so they're saying it can spread these diseases. You don't necessarily
it only spreads the disease if you have an open sore, right? So like if there's Hep C or whatever on, and I'm not a doctor or anything. But
okay, but you still don't want to be just like passing Hep C at every cashier station.
You were
paper
to know
cuts are a thing.
Yeah, if you knew you had Hep C and you bled onto a banknote and then you passed it on to somebody, yes, you might be doing something that is possibly dangerous.
Right, but I was saying as a member of the general population, not as a member of the population who snorts coke, this is still a concern.
It's a concern if you have an open sore on the hand on which. And how long does Hep C stay alive? Does it even live, or I don't know enough about it.
I don't know, but apparently
I don't know, but he's saying you can spread it. So
apparently this is not a new concern. I found an article from May of last year.
Mm-hmm. I know there's doctors in our
Daily Star
chat room
urging people to not use the new 5-pound notes to snort cocaine. Quote from one coke user who was not identified described the agony of the new note. Quote, I thought I was the only person to have my nose cut by the new 5er. But when I told my friend how I was in agony, he said I had been Winston, and it was happening to everyone. Because there's a picture of Winston Churchill on it. He says, everyone thought the new 5er was God's gift to sniffing at the start of it because they rolled up perfectly. Now I suppose people are realizing if something seems too good to be true, it usually is.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves. If you are a cocaine addict and you can, or a cocaine user, you don't have to be an addict. If you're just a user and you want to correct us on our misunderstandings, please feel free. Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
You've heard
of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll free and join us right here. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can also call us via the Discord on-air call and line chat room. Go to discord.lrn.fm and you'll find it in there. Plus, we've got Skype at Skype username lrn.fm. Here in the studio tonight, it's Ian. Melanie. Oops, sorry, Mel, try again.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
Thanks. I'll get this right one of these days. So we're talking about various different things out of the UK so far today, but there's other stories to discuss. And if you want to join us, bring up whatever you want. We were talking about coke addicts and cocaine users are upset, apparently, at the British government for releasing new plastic bills, plastic-based pound notes. So the 5-pound note, for instance, and I guess a 10-pound note may soon be released that is plastic. Apparently, it's cutting up coke users' noses, and I guess they're frustrated by that. Maybe they don't want to be seen using a straw I don't know if that's like too small-timey. I think that, maybe some Coke users want to feel like a big shot, so
with a $5 bill.
5 pounds. I don't know how many dollars that is.
It's roughly this. They fluctuate, but it's roughly equivalent.
Isn't it like $8 or something like that? Anyway, so you're welcome to comment on that. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Going on, though, Darryl, you've got some news that you wanted to share. Do you want to start with Kansas?
Yeah, let's start with that Kansas story. And current exchange rate, 5 British pounds is $6.93.
Okay, so almost
$7. And I just accidentally closed my Kansas story, but here it is from CBS News. When Lamont McIntyre was exonerated for a double murder in October, he walked out of a Kansas prison with a clean record, but not a dime to his name. After losing 23 years of his life behind bars, the state is offering him nothing. Kansas is one of 18 states that offer wrongly convicted prisoners no compensation at all upon release.
Wow.
McIntyre says, I think it's unjust, but me being angry isn't going to change it.
Yep.
Tricia Bushnell of the Midwest Innocence Project.
That's just going to leave you angry for the rest of your life.
Yes. Tricia Bushnell of the Midwest Innocence Project worked to win McIntyre's release. She said McIntyre has other reasons to be angry. She called his case the perfect storm. For example, at his trial in 1994, when he was just 17, there was no physical evidence or motive presented. Worse, according to McIntyre's current lawyer, lead police detective Roger Golubski built the case by threatening witnesses.
Oh, my God.
Bushnell said the fallout may impact other potential exonerations. She said there are about a dozen people behind bars whose cases are connected to Detective Golubski. Golubski has since retired and said he did nothing wrong. But Mark Dupree, who became the state's attorney a year ago, has asked the Kansas Bureau of Investigations to review his conduct. Dupree says if my office receives that information, if they receive that information and there's probable cause to charge Mr. Golubski, that will happen. He agrees that McIntyre got a raw deal, saying, quote, he did, and the only thing we can do is push forward.
That's not the only thing you can do, though.
Well, I mean, he can't make the state compassionate. So, I mean, there's nothing else that can be done as far as the state compensating this man. But certainly, him getting this publicity may result in something like a fundraiser or something. Maybe the GoFundMe or something like that can be created.
And I know that the Innocence Project, which is separate from the Midwest Innocence Project there in Kansas, they will wind up helping people by having GoFundMes. Just this afternoon, I was actually... That's why I didn't go to the Bitcoin meetup. I was watching a live stream of the 200th person exonerated for DNA evidence from a murder charge. Hour-long live stream from the offices of the Innocence Project. And they mentioned a couple of times the GoFundMe.
I was going to ask you about the Innocence Project because I know you're doing a fundraiser, fundraising run for the Innocence Project. Now, you're saying the Western or Midwestern Innocence Project is not related?
Yeah, there's the national one, and then there's the Innocence Project New Orleans is a separate entity from the Innocence Project.
Right. The article here from CBS says that the Midwest Innocence Project is independently operated and not under the supervision of the Innocence Project, which is headquartered in New York.
Okay.
So there's the Innocence Project, and then there are a couple of other entities that have the word Innocence Project in the name.
So presumably they're doing similar missions.
They're doing similar things, but they are not directly
They're not
connected.
the same entity.
I see.
Yeah.
Not like the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire has a connection to the National Libertarian Party, even though they are separate organizations. These aren't even connected?
Correct.
Okay.
This is saying the article here mentions that they are independent entities.
All right. But you're raising money for the National Innocence Project.
Yes. Okay. The Innocence Project, which is based in New York. I'll be taking part in the New York City Marathon on Team Innocence Project.
If you can raise enough money.
And, well, the way the thing operates is there's the goal of $3,500, and whatever I don't raise through run.freetalklive.com, I am personally responsible for covering the difference.
So what you're saying is
I am running on the team.
Okay.
It's a matter of whether or not listeners and other people contribute $3,500 or Darryl has to make up the difference.
I see. And you've started doing this fundraising right now.
Yes,
correct?
I have. And I'm working on getting some matching funds. I'm not ready to announce those yet. But I'm working on that right now, so hopefully that will be announced fairly soon.
Okay, maybe this week if all goes well.
Hopefully.
Okay, and when's the marathon?
Marathon is November 4th.
Okay, so you got a little bit of time.
I've got some time, but having listened to other people that have done fundraising for charities before,
start sooner.
Well, not only start sooner, but the sooner you get it done, then the sooner you can actually start preparing for the race, because it's one of those things that it takes time to send emails to people and make phone calls and talk to people about what you're doing, why you're doing it, etc.
So you're doing it to support the Innocence Project.
Yes.
And you said there's a team of people that are going to be in the race on behalf of the Innocence Project.
Correct. So there's going to be, I believe they have 5 slots total. On the website, if you go to run.freetalklive.com, you can click and view the team. And I think right now there are 4 people listed as team members.
Tell me, because I don't know how all this works, is the Innocence Project benefiting from any of this fundraising, or is it all the money just going to the marathon?
No, the money goes to the Innocence. So the $3,500 that is minimum that I have to raise. Okay. If I raise $10,000, the Innocence Project gets $10,000. If I raise,
and you get into the so
right.
So the race will let you in for raising money for a charity, is what you're saying.
I had to pay the registration fee into the race.
And what was that?
$255. Which I got a discount because I joined the New York Roadrunners Association.
Got it.
But basically, it's $300 just for me to get into the race, not counting me traveling to New York City a couple days before.
Yeah, that's
staying in hotels.
All right, there's more on the way here. So if you want to help Darryl with the fundraising, go to
run.freetalklive.com.
And there's more coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts with us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
We all have heard about the benefits of fish oils, but what about the presence of heavy metals, PCBs, dioxins, furans, and other contaminants found in fatty tissues of fish? GCNteam.com recognizes this risk and offers IFOS certified tested omega-3 fatty acids. EPA, DHA insist on IFOS omega-3 fatty acid certification. Get the best at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203.
This is novelist Tom Robbins. When my mother was diagnosed with glaucoma, her conservative Virginia physician told her there was only one treatment that might ease her pain and save her eyesight. That treatment was medical marijuana, which he could not prescribe. I offered to get her some and teach her how to use it effectively, but my father objected because marijuana was against the law. So my mother, who loved to read and walk in nature, was condemned to grow cruelly, unnecessarily blind. Tragedies like this happen all the time, but they don't have to keep happening. To learn more about medical marijuana, call the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here and take control of the airwaves at 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well at Skype username LRN.FM. Coming up, Facebook is on the attack against a satire site called the Babylon Bee. Darryl's got that story for you. And it's Ian and Melanie and Darryl in the studio here with you tonight. Don't forget, you can join us over at freetalklive.com and enjoy a bunch of cool features there. Plus, liberty.menu is where you want to go if you are a liberty-minded person who owns a business, or you just want to find liberty-oriented businesses with whom you can do business if you're a customer, because it makes sense for those of us in the very relatively small world of liberty to do business with each other. So this website, liberty.menu, is a great place to go and find those businesses. Like, you know about Melanie's business because she's here on the radio with us, but there's a bunch of other great liberty-oriented businesses out there, and you don't know about them. So you can go to liberty.menu and find out about some of them. And if you have a liberty-oriented business, or you're a business person who is liberty-oriented, you can add your business to the list over there and to the map. Or maybe you've got an event that's happening in your area and you want people to know about it who are in the liberty community. It's a website exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If that describes you, you really ought to go over to liberty.menu and check it out. And you can add things to it for free. So whether it's digital content that you want to share, whether it's business listings, whether it's event listings, they do all of that and more over at liberty.menu. And again, it's free, so there's no reason not to go and get listed. Liberty.menu. As we get into an unusual story out of Rhode Island. You don't hear a whole lot out of Rhode Island, but this one is coming out of the video game universe. For those of you out there on our Twitch streaming platform, you may have already heard this particular story. By the way, we are streaming on the video game streaming platform over at twitch.lrn.fm. That's how you can watch us in HD video quality, and there's also the chat room going on there. But the headline is about a Rhode Island representative who's proposed a tax on M-rated video games to fund mental health provisions in schools. According to the story at IGN.com, GamesIndustry.biz is reporting that the Republican member of the Rhode Island State House, Robert Nardolillo, has plans to increase a tax on games. Apparently they already have one, with ratings of M or higher by 10%.
Now, I wonder if Amazon is charging and collecting this tax, or eBay sellers somehow being forced to charge this? Because I see if they're not, I see a very easy workaround if you want to buy rated M video games.
Things listed as new products get sales tax added on the large corporate sites that have to stay legit. If you list it as used, they don't charge sales tax.
This isn't the typical sales tax, though. This is a special tax that they're talking about just for violent video games.
Right. So if you go to Amazon.com and you live in, say, Philadelphia, and you buy soda from Amazon, is Amazon collecting Philly's soda tax?
Probably not, unless they have a distribution center in Philly, would be my guess, but I don't know.
Right, so very easy workaround. Order it online.
No doubt about it. I mean, there's a workaround, but that doesn't make it, and not outrageous news story.
Right.
It's also worth mentioning that people who are in elementary school cannot buy M-rated games, so connecting that to their mental health is somewhat even more dubious than...
Did you say elementary school?
I thought it was school. Well, elementary and high school, not college.
I mean, technically, nobody in high school who's under 17 or whatever can buy.
M is 18.
No, I thought it was 17. I mean,
there
might
is
be some
a rating
stores.
that's 17, but M, I'm pretty sure is 18.
I think that there are some stores who enforce 18 on M. I don't think that there's no legal enforcement of this, right? So back in the 1990s, in the 1993, 1994, in that range, there was all this hubbub about Mortal Kombat and Night Trap, which were two games that were mature content for the time. Now, of course, Mortal Kombat has become far more mature content with some of the most gore-filled animations you can possibly find in a video game. But back then, it was, a little bit of blood on the screen was like, certain parental groups were very upset about that. And it was Joe Lieberman, who was the politician that was leading the charge against violent video games back then. And what happened was the government basically said, look, industry, if you don't come up with a voluntary rating system, we're going to force you to have a rating system.
Yep, so they came up with the ESRB, and I've actually got the ESRB in front of me.
Isn't it MA-17? Isn't that the rating?
I thought that's a movie rating.
Hold on.
No,
you're thinking NC-17.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's 17 in R-rated movies.
I think so. So ESRB is Entertainment Software Rating Board.
That's
so
right.
There is EC for early childhood, saying that content may be suitable for 3 years and older. E for everyone, meaning 6 years and older. Well, that's not everyone, then is it? If you've got early childhood, which is 3, and then E for everyone is 6. Now, those 3 to 6 year olds, they can't play a rated E. There's E10, which is everyone 10 and older.
Well, they've changed this system. This wasn't the original ratings that they had.
Yeah.
T for teen.
It used to be T, M.
Which is 13 plus. M is mature, 17 plus, where it says titles rated M for mature have content that may be suitable for persons age 17 and older. Titles in this category may contain intense violence, blood, and gore, sexual content, and or strong language. And then there's...
Do they still have AO?
AO, which
Adults
is
only.
adult only. And then there's RP, which is rating pending.
Okay.
Meaning it's not yet been submitted, or it's been submitted but waiting final approval.
Yeah, so it was 17. But again, many game stores probably just go ahead and enforce 18 just because.
Just like if you go rent a rated R movie, or they necessarily say, you're 16 and a half, not 17. You can't rent this, young man.
Also, as I understand it, not a legal requirement, meaning that it's a voluntary system, the movie ratings system as well, meaning that it's not a crime for a 16-year-old to sneak into a movie. It's just the policy of the theater.
Well, the sneaking into the movie, if they don't buy a ticket, that would be...
Okay, what I mean is you buy a ticket to a different movie, and then you sneak into the... So you buy a ticket to the G-rated movie and sneak into the R-rated movie.
Here's the thing. A lot of the bigger theaters now have assigned seating.
No, really? Are you kidding?
I've never seen that.
I am not kidding.
That's
You're right.
horrible.
You're right. It's the like the fancy IMAX. I have seen that at, I think, some IMAX-y kind of places.
But the movie theater where I went to go see Snowden a year and a half ago, they had assigned seating.
That's crazy.
Now, these were really nice seats, so it was like, I was sitting in a Lazy Boy.
That is nice.
But,
is it one of those ones where you can order food in the theater? And
you ordered the food before you went in.
I see.
So they had...
Do they deliver it by a waitress or whatever?
No, they had the concession stand, but it was like a full restaurant sort of, like fast food restaurant food. But you would get that before you went in. They wouldn't bring the food to you.
Because there are some where they do that, right?
Correct.
Where they'll give you enough time to sit down and start a meal, and then they play the movie or something like that. I've never actually been to one of these.
I've only been to Chunky's one time.
The one that I've heard of.
The one that's in New Hampshire that we have. I've only been there once, and I don't remember what the process was.
They have one in Covington, Louisiana, which is actually pretty good. They bring you. They have full service throughout the movie, which seems like it would be really disruptive, but it wasn't.
So, yeah, they were professional about it. They managed to be quiet and very courteous. Cool. I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun. So, if you want to comment, you're welcome to. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. So, again, the proposal here, to go back to the story from, actually, I'm going to switch over to gamesindustry.biz, which is the originator, and they've actually updated the story with further comments from Robert Nardolillo III. He has revealed his plans to raise tax on violent video games to pay for mental health and counseling resources in schools. The story here from GamesIndustry.biz says American states don't have the power to legislate against the sale of M-rated games to minors. Nardolillo's proposal aims to offset this by increasing tax and funneling that money into mental health provisions. We'll get some actual quotes from Nardolillo here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, especially if you support restrictions on M-rated video games. Would love to hear from you. This is Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here to bring up whatever's on your mind. We're talking about an outrageous proposal out of Rhode Island to tax M-rated or higher video games, which would be the M rating or the AO adults only rating, which I haven't seen since the 1990s. I am curious to know if any games within the last decade have actually been released as adults only. I remember seeing them in the video game store when I was too young to buy them and wondering, what that was all about. It turns out it was the 3DO. They had some like porn videos basically that some porn company released onto this video game system as they weren't games, they were just porn on a CD-ROM basically. But those received the adults only rating. This was the last time I ever saw it.
There is a wiki entry for list of AO rated video games.
Excellent. I imagine it's relatively short.
I have sorted by release date.
Yeah.
Eden Plus Mosaic, released in 2015 for Windows.
Eden Plus Mosaic. God, that sounds boring.
Hatred, also released for Windows. Well, they do have notes here. The ESRB content descriptor for Eden Plus Mosaic is nudity, strong language, and strong sexual content. The game was
appears to be an anime game.
Yes.
So like
publisher
hentai, maybe.
is Manga Gamer.
Okay.
The game was sent to the ESRB at the request from the Japanese developer in order to get a green light for the release in the United States. The all-ages version of this game is also rated.
Gotcha.
But they don't say what that is rated, but presumably E for everyone.
All right, I take it back. Apparently there are games being released for AO.
Seduce Me, released for Mac and Windows.
Wait. Which year are we talking about?
2015.
Okay. So nothing in 2016, nothing in 2017.
Correct.
All right. So not exactly an avalanche of games.
One in 2014, and then they don't have anything between that and Manhunt 2 uncut version for PC only, released in November 2009. So not a lot of them.
Not a whole lot. Yeah. So we're talking about
literal handfuls.
The proposal from Republican Rhode Island State House Representative member Robert Nardolillo III, who's saying he wants to have a special tax. So they already have the sales tax in Rhode Island. This would be adding an additional 10% to any purchases of M-rated games. And we'll tell you a little bit more about what he has to say for himself here in moments. But I also do want to let you know about the Blink Home Security System, which is where you can go to get very affordable, like shockingly affordable and effective home security system at blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's /FTL like Free Talk Live. This is about as easy as a setup process as I could possibly have imagined. I can't imagine it getting even easier than this. It's just so simple. You get this Blink Home Security System, you unbox it, you put the batteries into the cameras. They're wireless, so then you just put the cameras where you want them, and whatever mounting you need to do, you do that. Super easy to do, and then you get it all set up via your Wi-Fi-enabled device like a tablet or smartphone, and then when the cameras detect motion, they send you clips of what happened. It's that simple and very nice, very easy, very simple. Blinkprotect.com/FTL makes a great gift,
And it's great for your home or maybe even a small office. So blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Quote from Robert Nardolillo III in the Rhode Island State House: "There is evidence that children exposed to violent video games at a young age tend to act more aggressively than those who are not," he said in a statement. Said further, this bill would give schools the additional resources needed to help students deal with that aggression in a positive way. Now,
a positive way of dealing with... Okay.
I don't know if I believe his statement. I'm sure there is evidence, but there's probably also evidence to the contrary. There have been a lot of studies done on children and violent video games, and from my understanding is there's not really any kind of connections that can be made. Obviously, correlation is not causation.
IGN, which is the, I believe they're a gamer magazine.
They don't have, I don't think they've ever had a physical magazine, but they've always been a major web presence.
Yeah, so they have an article about this, and they quote him from part of that quote, and they say, although he did not provide any source to substantiate his claim.
Evidence.
And then, interestingly enough, they link over to the Facebook post where the quote was made. That Facebook post is no longer there. It's gone.
Yeah. And so if somebody else out there happens to have any kind of information at their fingertips they want to share on this question, because, again, teenage boys, aggression, with or without video games, you think they're going to have some? I think so. I think that's just sort of what happens.
And probably when you lock them in the room and make them stare at a board all day, they probably have more because they're not allowed to go run around and build stuff.
Now, Nardolillo, who apparently has a 93% approval rating from the National Rifle Association.
I don't see how that's connected.
It's just they're pointing it out here that
because guns.
IGN pointed out the same thing and made no sense why. It just seems like something to sort of throw out there that's not connected.
Well, I mean, I think he doesn't cite the evidence. According to research carried out by the U.S. Secret Service, as highlighted by Glixel, less than 20% of school shooters even played violent video games. Now, I don't know how they got that information either. I'm going to throw that statistic into question. How would you be able to say whether or not a teenager, who shot up a...
It would probably be easier before they had online games, because then you could search their house and see if there was violent.
Or you also, there is this thing called interrogation. So you ask them a bunch of questions.
Well, not if they're dead.
Most of them are dead.
Yeah, the school shooters end up dead most of the time. Probably 95% of the time, the school shooters end up killing themselves or being shot to death by the police.
Except for when the cops wind up hiding outside eating donuts in packs.
Right, but most of them die,
Didn't
so you
this one
can't
die?
Interrogate them.
The most recent one, isn't he dead?
No.
They caught him live? Wow.
He wound up sneaking out with a group of students that were running away from him.
Really?
And then he went to a movie theater.
Wow. See, I didn't know that part of the story. I just presumed he was dead.
They sat outside hiding behind a car. How were they going to shoot him?
Wow. Well, a lot of times, like I said, they end up blowing their brains out.
But yeah, they usually kill
before the cops
themselves,
get
but
there.
this one didn't.
Wow. Okay, it's interesting. So he's a rarity then. He's the a rare school shooting.
And that is assuming that they got the right guy, because if you're going to do something like that, I don't know how you don't save a bullet, but different people have different preferences on that, I guess.
So anyway, the claim here, less than 20% of school shooters played violent video games. I mean, I can't even believe that would be true, given how popular games are among young people specifically. I mean, games have...
Right, but we're talking specifically about isolated people.
Yeah, don't you think those people play video games?
Right, but saying something is popular and then transposing that to, and so it must also be popular among isolated people, doesn't follow.
Yeah, but it was popular among isolated people 20 years ago when it wasn't that popular. Now, video games are even more popular to the point where they're making more money on games than they are blockbuster movies. The amount of money coming in from game sales.
But let me ask this question. What percentage, and I don't expect you to know the answer off the top of your head, but what percentage of video fit into the violent video game category?
I would bet a lot of them.
I mean, probably most of them that aren't for specifically small children.
Right. I mean, It depends on how you define violence as well. I mean, is it violence when Mario stomps on a Koopa Trooper's head?
Yes.
Yeah, technically that's violence. It's probably not the same.
Yeah, that does get classified differently. So
it's like
yeah,
animated
even more.
violence
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
cartoon violence, but yeah. So if
you're still killing the little
there's even more violent
Koopa
video
Trooper.
games than they're admitting for some reason. They're not defining that broadly
Right, because
enough,
when you
but-
stomp on the little mushroom guy or whatever the thing is, blood doesn't splatter across the screen.
I bet there's a hack version where it does. But yes, you're right. The normal version of the game probably, yeah, that's
But yeah,
not
it might just be that people without a healthy outlet like video games go
are more
another
likely
route.
to go shooting. Be Melanie, we can continue here. You're welcome to share your
Army has taken roughly a quarter of what remained of the rebel enclave, with civilians fleeing deeper into the ever-shrinking area. Eastern Ghouta has been rebel-held virtually throughout the war, with Syrian forces having negotiated evacuation deals with some rebels along the outskirts last year and now looking to clear the rest of it of rebel fighters. This area is the last substantial rebel-held holding this close to the capital city. The hope had been that a recent ceasefire would ease the situation and give way to some sort of negotiated settlement, though the rebels have largely spurned the idea of evacuating the area, and the Assad government seems determined to resolve the situation militarily in the absence of a quick deal.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports a charity set up in the name of Philando Castile, a Minnesota man who was shot and killed by a police officer, has paid the school lunch debt for students at every public school in the St. Paul area. Philando Castile was killed in July 2016 by former St. Anthony, Minnesota police officer Geronimo Yanez in a shooting death that was live-streamed on Facebook at the time. Before his death, Castile was a cafeteria worker at a public school in St. Paul who was known to pay the lunch cost for students who could not pay their own. Pamela Fergus, a professor at Metro State University who runs the charity, told local media, "Philando was famous for that. His mother told me that every day he would call her after leaving his job at J.J. Hill Montessori Magnet School and talk about the kids. Another kid didn't have money in his account, so Philando would take $3 out of his pocket and pay that kid's lunch for the day." Fergus said as of Sunday, the charity Philando Feeds the Children had raised more than $100,000 and dropped off a check for $35,000 to cover the entire school lunch debt at all 56 public schools in the St. Paul area. The rest of the funds will be used to cover more school lunch debt at other schools. A statement on the charity's website states, "The goal continues to rise because we continue to challenge ourselves and the greater community to make this fund permanent."
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports some 500,000 customers remained without power throughout the eastern United States on Sunday evening, and New England coastal communities faced more flooding 2 days after a powerful storm snapped trees, downed wires, and killed at least 9 people. The remnants of the storm, called a nor'easter, lingered on Sunday, with the National Weather Service posting coastal flooding advisories in effect until Monday morning in much of the U.S. Northeast, even after the storm had passed. Some 500,000 customers still lacked power, according to data provided by 10 major utilities in the Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Northeast. At one point, 2 million customers had lost power. The brunt of the storm hit on Friday, packing hurricane-force winds in excess of 90 miles per hour and sending seawater churning into the streets of Boston and nearby shore towns, marking the second time this year the area has been flooded. AccuWeather said the storm dumped as much as 18 inches of snow on parts of New York State and Pennsylvania. The Massachusetts town of East Bridgewater received nearly 6 inches of rain. The storm also snarled transportation from the Mid-Atlantic into New England, with hundreds of flights being canceled into and out of New York and Boston over the weekend. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
In Baltimore, the streets have gotten safer thanks to the success of the new Permanent Daylight Initiative, which aims to prevent crime by illuminating the entire city 24 hours a day using high-powered floodlights.
It's just that it's so bright all the time, even in the rain.
City officials say there have been 0 violent crimes since the start of the program, except for one man who vandalized the light by throwing his body off a building into it. Now let's set our crosshairs on to Mountain View, California, where Gmail servers were down for nearly 2 hours today. In an online statement, the company said, "Tremble before Google. With the mere flip of a switch, we can bring you to your knees." After reestablishing service this afternoon, Google changed its logo and released a statement saying, if not appeased with a 20% increase in Google Chrome downloads by the next vernal equinox, they will take back their generous gift unto mankind of colored conversation labeling. All right, you can take off your helmet. You have survived the News Blitz.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. Plenty of time for you to join us here. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever is on your mind. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
We, if you're just tuning in, have been talking about a proposal. And apparently, Darryl, you dug around in the Rhode Island State Legislature on their website, and you could not find the actual proposed bill.
Correct.
It's just in the we're talking about this stages, and probably he's trying to figure out if it's even legal to do what he's talking about.
Correct.
Which would be to carve out a special sales tax just for certain items, specifically in this case, violent video games. Now,
Yes.
maybe they can do that. I imagine the sales tax on things like cigarettes or alcohol might be a little bit different, or maybe they have special taxes just for those items. So maybe it would be in that category of vice or something.
I don't know. And I pulled up an article from Reason, and they say that it's creative but unconstitutional.
Because it discriminates against a certain class of item?
They say that video games, including ones that depict violence, are specifically protected by the First Amendment in accordance with Supreme Court ruling Brown v. Entertainment Merchants Association, 2011. Taxes based on content of First Amendment protected speech are generally held to be unconstitutional. Again, Supreme Court case, Arkansas Writers Project v. Ragland from 1987. And thirdly, they say some facially content-based speech restrictions are sometimes treated as content neutral when they are seen as targeting the secondary effects of speech, but the tendency of speech to cause harm when children view it and act on it, even if such a tendency is empirically plausible, is not treated as a secondary effect. And then they reference the cases of Laurelland Tobacco Company v. Riley, 2001, specifically about tobacco advertising. United States v. Playboy Entertainment Group, 2000, about sexually themed speech. And then they say listeners' reaction to speech are not the type of secondary effects referred to in the court cases.
But I would have to read what would get you an AO rating. Or no, he's talking about an M rating, not AO.
He's talking about M rating and above, so AO would also be taxed.
Okay, so he's probably okay for AO, not for M.
Why?
Because pornography is not protected speech. I would have to read the definition of AO, but I'm imagining most AO games are basically just going to be porn.
I had found that. Give me a moment to
But is it still
find that again.
Because you can criminalize pornography, so I would assume that you could therefore have the... There's cases saying you can criminalize pornography. It would then therefore follow, though not necessarily legally follow, that you can have a lesser restriction on pornography.
Titles
if you can
rated
outright criminalize
AO,
it.
adult only, have content that should be played by persons 18 years and older. Titles in this category may include prolonged scenes of intense violence and or graphic sexual content and nudity.
No, but
M does not include nudity.
Nudity, okay. Now, Melanie, so you're saying that pornography can be criminalized. By that, do you mean, like, you know, obviously child pornography is criminal, right? So, but what other kinds of pornography have they criminalized?
In the state of Alabama, you have to be 21 to buy a nudie magazine.
And okay.
I don't know
Most
that any
of the rest of the state, it's 18.
Enforce that, but that's the we know it when we see it case.
We know they went after certain porn producers during the Bush and Obama administrations. Certain porn producers who produced legal pornography,
yes,
but that they were claiming was obscene after the fact, and then saying that they had to prosecute them for that.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But I mean,
meaning
I don't think that most
the people
states
who were participating in it were participating voluntarily. It wasn't like they had sex slaves or something like that. It was just violent pornography that was fantasy violence.
I don't think most states have widespread just criminalization anymore. There was, though, a Supreme Court case where a woman got arrested for magazines, and they were like, no, you...
Possession of? Or
Yeah.
creation.
Possession. There was also there was a sex shop in St. Tammany. I think it was in Mandeville, but it was in St. Tammany as early as like 2011, 2010, something like that got busted, and that got upheld.
Wow.
You can. Most states don't do that anymore, as far as I can tell, but they still can.
Toll-free number if you want to join us here, and there's more from the story. We'll get to that in moments. But first, we're going to the phones to the fun. Charles is on the line in Bullhead City, Arizona, listening to K-Talks. Hello, Charles. You're on Free Talk Live.
Can I get Melanie, please?
Can you get her? She's right here. I don't know if you can get her, though. She's engaged to be married.
Melanie Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Melanie.
Yeah.
I called up a couple weeks ago and I said that you had the best female voice on the air.
This is you're one of your fans, Melanie. Okay, so what did you want to say to Melanie tonight?
I just want to say keep up the good work, and also to you, and just keep on keeping on.
All right, then. Now, have you been drinking tonight, Charles? I'm just curious.
Yes. I'm getting that. I'm getting that 5.9 alcohol.
What's your drink of
that
choice?
would make you dead.
What is your drink of choice?
Anything.
It's Coors beer from Colorado.
You've drank enough Coors beer to have a 5.9 BAC.
Most people die at 3.5.
Oh,
most people are comatose at 3.0.
Right, but when your blood type is Coors
alcohol.
Light.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, we're
I
waiting.
want to put it out. I donate my blood every time I can, and I just got my 10-gallon pen.
I couldn't make out that last word.
I don't think that was a word.
You just got your what?
I said I got my 10-gallon pen.
Wow, man. Hey, congrats. So it's legal to donate alcohol-infused blood?
Yes. Or you can... Oh.
They ask you questions. What I've heard is a lot of people, are, like in college, would go and donate blood and then drink so that they could get drunk off of less alcohol.
Right, you're not supposed to go in there while you're drunk, right? Because doesn't that make the blood...
I cannot believe I'm talking to that young lady.
Well, dreams come true every day here, Charles. Thank you for the call tonight. It sounds like you're getting a little too excited, so I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it, though. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom.
Wow.
Now, you're not supposed to drink when you go and donate blood, right? Because
I would imagine not. I've never tried to donate blood drunk.
Doesn't alcohol thin the blood?
It probably messes up when you... I would imagine that it does something bad to the blood when you try to stick it on a shelf.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're that desperate that they're letting Charles go in and donate blood, maybe some of our listeners there in Bullhead City ought to step up and give him some non-alcoholic
He's probably not that drunk when he
blood. That's a lot of drinking, though. I mean, a 5% BAC, like you said, that's not living for...
He does not have a 5% BAC.
Maybe he's misreading. Maybe he's got a BAC.
Yeah, maybe it's upside down or something.
Or maybe it's .059.
He's drunker than a .05.
Maybe it's .59, which, again, if you're an alcoholic, you can get that high.
.59 would be almost 60%, right?
No, it'd be almost
It's something liters per gallons. It's convoluted.
All right. Anyway, let's continue here. We've got Gavin on the line in Eugene, Oregon. Gavin, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hi. So I was listening to you guys talking about the potholes and the guy, drawing the,
Yeah, penises. The guy was drawing a penis around. Hang on a second, Gavin. We're going to bring you back. You can comment here in just a moment. Want to make sure you got enough time to get out your thoughts. More with Gavin.
All right, no problem.
And we're going to continue here. You can bring up whatever you want here on Free Talk Live. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Whether it's violent video game taxes or chalk penises, we'll talk to you about it on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
If you're looking for work, you know the math. There are many more applicants than openings, so you need to stand out, not blend into the blah, blah, blah your interviewer is hearing from your competition. Here's a tip. In your interview, you will be judged more by the questions you ask than the answers you give. Yes, do anticipate the obvious job interview questions and prepare concise, insightful, glass-half-full sounding responses. And you should interview your interviewer. Seem genuinely curious about what will help get results. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. You want to cut through the clutter. For more tips for job seekers and making all the other conversations you have more productive, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. Dial toll free to join us here and bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. More on the Rhode Island proposal to tax violent video games, specifically games with the rating of M or higher. Because, by the way, you can have plenty of violence in one of the teen-rated games, but somebody says the F word, then it's an M-rated game. And I guess if there's a certain amount of gore and that kind of thing. But we'll tell you more about that on the way here. Of course, you can bring up what you want. And also, I do want to let you know about Bitcoin.com, because if you've been thinking about learning about Bitcoin, then now's a good time to get started. There's no better time than now to go and visit Bitcoin.com. If you're driving, wait till you get home or to the office or whatever, and then go to Bitcoin.com to learn about what cryptocurrency is, to learn about how it all started, because it has been a long 9 years since Bitcoin was created back in 2009, and we're still at the very beginning of this thing. It's still early in the world of cryptocurrency. I know 10 years sounds like a long time, but if you think about it on the scale of money, like how long have we had paper money? How long have we had gold as money? How long have we had, these other money systems that have been out there? Much longer. So This is still in its incipient stages. You really ought to check it out and learn about Bitcoin over at Bitcoin.com. If you're not new to Bitcoin, you want to get the latest headlines, then go to news.bitcoin.com. They do a great job of covering the news there from across the globe in the world of Bitcoin. Once again, that's news.bitcoin.com. As we go back to Gavin, he's calling us from Eugene, Oregon. And Gavin, you're back on Free Talk Live. Wanted to make sure you had a chance to get your thoughts out. So go ahead.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to call him many times on some things that have gotten me heated, but this hasn't really gotten me that heated. But I just have to inquire about your opinion on this, because you're saying the guy wrote some penis symbols indicating road potholes and stuff that needed to be repaired.
He drew with chalk. For listeners just tuning in, this is what we discussed in our first hour of the show. There is a person who we don't know. It may be male, it may be female. An anonymous individual in Manchester, England, has been drawing chalk penises around potholes in order to get the government to actually pay attention and fill the potholes. And apparently, it's been working. So that was the news story. Go ahead.
Well, it's admirable of him to do that. Yeah. I'm a public school teacher myself. I live where I live. My whole street is full of potholes all the time. I've even popped a couple of tires on them. It drives me nuts.
Jeez.
But my I don't know. My solution to it may be different than yours. How would you feel about people just paying more taxes to get their streets fixed?
That's crappy, because paying more taxes doesn't guarantee you're going to get service from the government. You can give them extra money and they can tilt.
It does help.
Huh?
It does help, though. It does help.
No, I don't know if there's any evidence that it helps.
No, it doesn't, because if I'm just blowing money.
Wait, let me finish. Hey, well, hold on, libertarians. Hold on. Let me just say here, okay, one of the reasons I think that none of the stuff is getting fixed around here is because people vote down tax increases all the time. Why? Because they want it both ways. They want everything fixed, and they want all the services. They want their roads clean and fixed and everything else provided, but they don't want to pay the taxes. Can't have it both ways.
Who can blame somebody for not wanting to pay the government's costs for road repair? I mean, whenever the government does something, they pay 10 times more than what they would actually have to pay if there was a competitive marketplace.
Well, not only that, when they do get money coming in, and I remember a couple of years ago, there was a proposal here in New Hampshire to increase the road toll that's applied to gasoline because we don't like calling things taxes. There was the statement about all of the other things that the gas tax goes to other than roads.
Right, and so if I'm just blowing money all the time and you give me more money and I never pay my rent, giving me more money is not going to make my rent get paid.
That's a bad analogy. Let me.
But they
explain
make
why.
enough money to fix the roads and do everything they're supposed to do.
Okay. Whenever you have a private company involved, you have a middleman, a profit motive. That's where all the inefficiency comes in.
Actually, you're completely wrong about that.
Good job. In my experience, the government does a pretty good job doing what they're paid to do. Okay?
No, actually, they do a terrible job.
Okay, you just said there was potholes in front of your street that make you get flat tires often.
No one's willing to pay their taxes. No one's willing to pay their taxes. That's why.
Everybody pays their taxes. That's why they have taxes, because they're afraid. Okay. The government knows that most people are afraid to not pay their taxes, and then, so people pay. They don't want to pay them because they understand that they're getting extorted, and they understand that the government sucks at everything that it does. And you cited the profit motive as a reason against things getting done, but the reality is profit motive is the reason why companies get things done in a much more efficient manner than anybody else, because they're also subject to competition. So that's the other check and balance on the fact that they can't just charge like crazy amounts of money to do things because there's somebody else who's willing to undercut them and do a better job. But the government is not subject to all that because the government doesn't care how much they spend, given the fact that they know they can just raise taxes in most places and get more money. I'm sorry, Darryl, go ahead.
And it's generally not the local DOT that actually does the road repair. They contract out to a private company.
Well, that's what he's claiming. That's what he's complaining about here. He's saying that if they would do it themselves, then they would get it done better and it would be more efficient.
But the reason they contract out to a private company is they can't do it themselves.
Go ahead, Gavin.
Am I still on? Am I still on?
Yeah, you're right here. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I thought I heard a fuzz. Okay, let me just say, I feel like you're talking over me. Okay, let me just say, the government, private industry works great in many, many areas, okay? And roads might be one of them too. But right here, there is no private company that's paving our roads. Right now, here, the government, if people were willing to pay a little bit, like a couple cents more in their taxes, our roads could be paved here, okay? And they do a pretty good job.
Okay, so there's no government waste, and we just need a couple cents more, and then we'd have roads.
Let me finish. There's three things that should not be privatized: healthcare, education, and prisons. Other than that, I'm all good with it.
None of those were roads.
Right. You're right. None of those were roads. But in this case, where's the private industry stepping in to do this?
Because when people do it, they get arrested. People have filled potholes for free and got arrested and got threatened with arrested, and the state came and unfilled the pothole.
Yeah, do you support that? Do you support arresting people who...
That is unfair. I agree. That is unfair.
It's kind of like the people saying nobody competes with the post office.
But you can't have that condition and then complain that there's no private industry when there tries to be private industry, they get arrested.
I'm not complaining there's a private industry. I'm complaining that people keep voting down tax increases to pay for roads.
Yeah, you're just living in a fantasy where you believe that if you give the government more money, they'll become more effective, and it's just not true. I thank you, Gavin, for the call tonight, though. I appreciate the discussion. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. The government isn't subject to the same signals in the marketplace that the rest of us are. If customers are upset with government, there's very little that can be done about it. You can vote somebody else in, but most of the time that doesn't happen. The incumbents get reelected. Even if people talk about voting out the bums from government, they almost never actually do it. And even if you vote in new bums, it's not going to make the government more effective.
And that's assuming that you even have a new bum that you can vote for, and you're not just... Do you want to vote for the incumbent or just not vote?
Yeah. So you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Instead of spending more money and sending it to the government, just fix the road yourself and then see if they arrest you for it. More coming up.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Free Talk Live.
Yeah, you're a loser.
Wow.
Along with,
So I'm a loser because I don't have health insurance? Is that all you got?
health insurance, and you don't want to license your vehicles like the guy in Florida, too?
So I'm a loser because I don't want to bend over for the state and have them molest my freedom and take my money from me. Boy, you've got a serious issue with priorities, man.
Why don't you just pay?
Does it make you feel like a winner when you get a speeding ticket? Does it make you feel like a winner when you're paying property tax?
You betcha.
You're pathetic, dude. Thanks for the call. The government loves bootlickers like Leon.
Yeah.
That's sad, man. I hope that more people out there are not like him. Because people like Leon are the problem. People like Leon who just do whatever it is they're told and they feel good about it. That's sick.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. With you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
Look, just a few more comments on the last call, and then we can go back to the story here about Rhode Island state representative proposing to tax violent video games, specifically M-rated games and above. We can tell you more about that, but just the general misunderstanding that the last caller had about government, believing that throwing more money at an inefficient organization is going to get things done. I mean, that doesn't work. The government is so disconnected from reality, from what things are normally supposed to cost, from, competition. They don't have it. They are a monopoly provider of the services that they provide in the given geographical area that they provide them. And we had a conversation with one of our co-hosts about this last week on Thursday night after the show was over. Heather, who was here, tried to have a conversation with her. I don't know if any headway was made, but we tried to explain to her that government is not a particularly good organization to do things because it is a monopoly. It is not subject to competition. They can demand whatever amount of money they want to. Now, if it's true that in the town where he's calling from there in Oregon, that the town votes down tax increases, that's good. He's saying it's bad, but from our perspective, that's good. But that still doesn't solve the problem. The problem is the monopoly still exists. They're still taking care of police, roads, and whatever other monopoly services they provide there.
Schools. A lot of municipalities now have taken over fire departments, EMT. Right. Don't know why those should be government, but he also said that he thought that healthcare should be government run.
We go into the school board meetings here in Keene, New Hampshire on a yearly basis. They have these yearly meetings where they determine budgets for the upcoming year, and they always, of course, vote to either increase the budget or increase it even more. Right. So it's usually one or the other. Which increase is your preferred increase? They don't ever give you a choice to decrease the school budgets. And that's because they know they can just keep increasing them. There's no real check and balance against them, except if people completely leave the area and there's nobody left. And in fact, that doesn't even seem to stop them. The numbers of students in the schools have gone down, and they've still increased the budgets.
Right. See, because we don't get as much money from the state, so we have to spend more.
It's just crazy.
Which makes no sense.
It's just crazy. When your business is failing, you don't double down and spend even more money on a failing business model. You either change your model or you go out of business. But the government, it doesn't work that way. They don't get to go out of business. Even when they majorly F it up, like Detroit, for instance, or the state of Michigan, where you've got major debts, governments that owe money to power companies, can't even keep the power turned on. Flint, they're poisoning the water system. I mean, there's some major F-ups out there. But even in those cases, all they usually do is hire some bureaucrat to come in from the state and handle basically a kind of a bankruptcy provision for that government, essentially resetting things, and they start over again. And they continue to have this monopoly of control. And the funny thing is, most of the people who favor governments also would claim to be against monopoly. If you would ask them, well, did you support, the oil monopolists back in the late, what was it, Rockefeller? Who was it that had the oil company? I forget.
Rockefeller.
It was Rockefeller. Yeah, so, did you support that monopoly? Oh, no, it's bad, evil monopoly. The robber barons, They're obviously against the idea of monopoly in a lot of cases, but they just have this huge blind spot for the monopoly of the state, even though the state is also a corporation. It's the worst kind of corporation because it's a corporation that you're forced to do business with. If there's a corporation out there that you don't like, whether it's Walmart or Starbucks or whatever, for whatever reason it is that you don't like them, you don't have to buy their products unless you're forced to by the violent government. Because the government can come along and force you to buy a product, like, let's say, with the healthcare thing, where they were forcing people. Although you said, didn't they repeal the mandate on that?
The individual mandate is repealed for this year going forward.
I see. But
so
they did
you
mandate
still are
people
going to get fined for last year.
But they did mandate people buying healthcare.
Yes.
Right. In some states, they mandate that you buy insurance. And guess what? When I moved from from Florida to New Hampshire and got the same exact coverage on my car, because even though I'm in New Hampshire, it's not legally required to have car insurance here. It's one of the few states that doesn't require that. I went ahead and got it anyway because it seems like a good idea. And the prices dropped by like $200 a year.
Yeah, mine went from 90 or 70 to 20.
Wait, per
month?
Per month. Okay. I was looking at year cost, but yeah, that's a significant.
I probably should change it to year. Like at the time, it was like a lot to pay it
for the whole year.
But yeah.
Because usually you get a discount if you pay. You get extra.
I get
discount
like
on
a
top of
$1 a month discount. I probably should switch it.
So my point being, though, I had the same coverage here in New Hampshire as I did down in Florida, but it costs less here.
No mandate.
Why would that be? Well, it's because you have to be a customer of insurance companies down in Florida, so they all know, hey, we can all raise our rates
Well,
here.
in insurance, when I was buying insurance off of the private market back when there was one, I was paying $70 a month for an 80-20 split. And
is this health?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ACA wants, it's like $350 or $400, something like that, for a 60-40, $5,000 deductible, which isn't even insurance
So you
anymore
get
at
worse
that point.
coverage for
Or
more money.
pretty much no coverage.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So again, it comes down to the government being a monopoly and they can force you to buy their things. Why would anybody look at that and say, oh yeah, the government's great. If we just gave them more money, they'd do things even better. I mean, there's no evidence that that's true. Look at the government education systems. They're still giving a piss-poor education out.
We just need to give them more money.
And they get more money, and they get more money,
No,
and they get more money.
And the thing is, the people that say
$20,000 per pupil right now is what it costs in New Hampshire.
The people that that's what it costs in Keene, which is a little above the state average.
It's still a lot of damn money statewide.
It is.
I mean, I paid less than that for law school.
But
so.
the people that say they just need more, if you ask them, all right, well, how much? They can't actually tell you.
He said just a few pennies. He said just a few pennies. The caller.
Right. So is that a few pennies
per
a day?
dollar.
A few pennies per person,
Probably
per
per
minute.
Yeah.
Like how many more pennies do I have to give? If I give them
Just
3 pennies
double
today,
the sales tax. Go from
if I give them 3 pennies today, will they leave me alone for another
Go
year?
from 8% to 16%. Then they'll have twice as much money. Then they can do twice as much, right? No, it doesn't work that way. If you give the government twice as much money, they just have twice as much money to blow on their friends.
No, they don't have twice as much money because we know, and they talk about this all the time, we have to impose a sweetened beverage tax to discourage people from buying sweetened beverages. We have to impose a tax on tobacco to discourage people from buying tobacco. What the blue hell do you think taxes on retail and working does? It discourages people.
It'll move some purchasing to the internet for sure. That's definitely true. But there will still be a lot of people that go and buy things in real life.
There
and maybe
are.
It won't double it,
Right, but it'll still lower. Like, every single purchase is not, if I don't buy this right now, I'm going to die. So it raises the price. The person buying it doesn't, most people buying things don't necessarily care if $9 goes to Walmart and $1 goes to the state, or if $8 goes to Walmart and $2 goes to the state. You rose the price of the product, so you lowered demand for that product.
When I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, where each municipality has a municipal tax rate, then there's the state tax rate, and it's this convoluted thing. I would intentionally make sure that I was shopping in municipalities where the sales tax was lower.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of person. That's the kind of people we are. Some people are going to do that. It is definitely going to affect, if you raise taxes, how people end up buying. There's
So
no
they're
doubt.
not getting double.
Okay, maybe they'll get 1.5 if they double the tax. It's gonna go up. The amount of revenue is gonna go up. And that
It's going to
means-
go up, but it's not going to go up by the same percentage that you raise it.
I agree with you.
And so then they'll raise it again, just like how New York State keeps raising their cigarette taxes and keeps raising their cigarette taxes.
And then kills people.
Killing people on sidewalks for selling loose cigarettes.
The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. How far away are we from the cops killing a man for filling a pothole in the streets? Put down that concrete! Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE.
Hands up, don't shoot.
You can bring up what you want here. It's Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. Call the Federal Tax Management Helpline that has been set up for you, 800-503-8625. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe more than $10,000 in taxes, call for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-503-8625. That's 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget the road.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
What
am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free to join us here on the radio waves. Our number 855-450 free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. Joining you here tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
Don't forget, if you like what we do here on Free Talk Live, then please join us on the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is a simple one. It's that if you want to help support us getting on more radio stations to bring the ideas of freedom and liberty and peace and cryptocurrency to as many people as we possibly can on the radio, then you can help us with that. And also, you'll get some cool perks. So it's $5 a month, and you get access to the AMP-only call-in lines, AMP-only podcast, which doesn't have the regular commercials that our normal podcast does, as well as the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only chat rooms in our new Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm, and more. Get all the details over at amp.freetalklive.com. It makes a big difference for us when you amp. We do appreciate it a lot. There's a select group of you out there that amps the show, and we sure do appreciate the help. So please, if you value what we do and you think it's worth $5 a month, I mean, that's all we're talking about here. The cost of a fancy cup of coffee or a fancy hamburger or something like that. So if you can afford that, cut out a pack of cigarettes and send us the $5. We'd appreciate it. Or if you're in New York City, that's half a pack. So once again, amp.freetalklive.com, ampamp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, a little bit more from the story about the games
tax, the M for mature, the mature or adults-only games would receive a 10% extra sales tax if legislation proposed by a state representative in Rhode Island moves forward. He says, quote, "Our goal is to make every school in Rhode Island a safe and calm place for students to learn."
Then just ban M-rated games from schools.
No, just ban public schools.
That would be better, but they're not going to do that.
Well, they're not going to do either of those things. They can't ban the M-rated games.
I feel like M-rated games are probably actually already banned from being played at school.
Probably. But they can't ban the games from being sold. So they can't stop children from playing these games as much as they might want to. Even if they did ban them, they could still just download them at that point. So if you outlaw violent video games, then only outlaws will have violent video games, and the kids will then become outlaws.
He's talking about young children being exposed to these video games.
Yes.
My question is, who are the parents that are buying their elementary school-age children these M-rated games?
Well, I don't know how many elementary school kids are getting them, but I imagine some of them are. I know my
Because
parents...
when I think of young children, I think of ones that are not yet in like junior high or high school.
That's because you're not a slave driver, though.
Well, he's talking about restricting sales of M-rated games, which would be sold only generally to people over the age of 17 or 18.
Right, but he also mentions young children being exposed to them.
People like him consider anyone under the age of 18 to be a child.
Right, and then they differentiate between young child and child, and he said specifically young children.
Okay, I don't know where he said that, but in this statement he says children. He doesn't say, the statement here is, quote, "Our goal is to make every," oh wait, no, where was it? Here, the rest of the quote. Quote, "By offering children resources to manage their aggression today, we can ensure a more peaceful tomorrow." So I don't know if this is anything about young children. I don't know where you heard that.
It's actually children exposed to video games at a young age.
Yeah, again, a lot of these people think that young is tantamount to anyone under the legal age of consent. Which
Maybe it's just growing up in Alabama. People that were in, say, junior high and high school were considered young adults.
I guess it depends on who you ask, but here's an update. In response to a query from GamesIndustry.biz, a spokesperson for Representative Nardolillo said, quote, "Both the American Psychological Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics have released studies showing a connection between violent video games and increased levels of aggression in children," unquote. The study by the American Psychological Association in 2015 concluded, this according to GamesIndustry.biz, that violent video games do have an impact on aggression. However, it also noted that there was insufficient evidence to link this exposure to criminal violence or physiological and neurological changes. Meanwhile, a 2016 study from the American Academy of Pediatrics found, quote, "experimental linkages between virtual violence and real-world aggression," unquote, but conceded that a real-world study that links virtual violence with real-world violence has yet to be conducted. Nardolillo's spokesperson added, quote, "The focus of this legislation is to reduce aggression in children by giving schools additional resources for counseling and mental health programs. By creating a more peaceful environment and ensuring adequate counseling resources are available, we may be able to guide young people away from the decisions that lead to these tragedies." So basically what he's saying is if this tax is put forward, a 10% extra sales tax on the M-rated video games, he's claiming that they'll use that to hire more guidance counselors. And that'll help stop violence in schools. It's not currently known, says the article, how much of the proposed tax is expected to raise or how much the mental health provisions might end up costing. But the spokesbureaucrat did say, quote, "When our legal counsel finishes the legislation, we'll be able to offer a more accurate projection of the funds that will be generated." So whether it's legal or not is another question. And of course, as we know with governments, they don't really think too hard about whether their proposals are legal. They just go ahead and do them, and then they hope that they don't get overturned. That tends to be how things go, which is basically what Trump was saying recently when he made all that hubbub about how let's just take the guns first and then figure it out later. He was just being honest about the way government works, right? Like that's the government's mode of operation. That's how they do their thing. They don't get punished when they violate the Constitution. They don't feel any consequences if they flagrantly violate people's rights. Very rarely. Every now and then there's a successful lawsuit that comes out of a violation of someone's rights. But probably 9 times out of 10,
they're
they
not
fail.
Personally liable.
The agents themselves are not personally liable. Right. So they themselves, the officer in question, very rarely faces any kind of liability for their actions. And the department itself very rarely even, it's even less common that the agent themselves will face any kind of punishment, and then very unreliably can you even hold the government accountable for what it does, because they basically have all these immunities built into the system.
Yes.
They have protected themselves by their own system from any kind of liability for doing violence to peaceful people, for destroying property, for taking things that don't belong to them. And that's where we are. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. If this thing moves forward in Rhode Island, hopefully we'll catch wind of it. And if you want to update us on it as it develops, feel free. Meanwhile, we go to Georgia, where Jody is on the line listening on FM. Jody, where are you calling from in Georgia tonight?
I'm outside of Statesboro, Georgia.
Excellent. Welcome to the show. Go ahead. You're on Free Talk Live.
Well, I think I don't understand how people don't see it as a societal thing.
What?
As far as gun control goes, I'm 50 years old. When I was in high school, you could drive through the parking lot and see guns hanging in gun racks in the back glasses of vehicles.
Yeah, good old days.
And there wasn't any school shootings to worry about.
Nope.
So that in itself shows it's not a gun thing. It's a societal thing. And I think that the millennial generation doesn't know how to take care of themselves, doesn't know how to do basic, simple things. And I don't think they know how to deal with their emotions. I think the parenting has went down the drains, and that the kids are left with video games and TV to deal with, and desensitized with a lot of the violence and stuff. I just think it's the family unit has completely fallen apart, and these kids don't know how to deal with what they're feeling inside. So they think that they're going to go and be like a video game and go shoot it up.
Is it the baby boomers' fault? I mean, whose fault is it if the family unit has fallen apart? Is it the Gen Xers? Was it both?
It's I want to say it's more of a. It's more of a. I see it as a intrusion of the government into taking care of people instead of families having to stay together to take care of each other.
I think that's part of it, but then there's also the thing of, whenever little Johnny or little Tommy or whoever winds up getting overly excited about something, oh, well, he's really hyper. We need to put him on drugs. And then kids wind up getting scared to show any kind of emotion. Hell, even Ian, I'm sure you probably had this happen to you when you were a kid. Fall down, something, maybe get a tear in your eye. Parents, you gonna cry? I'll give you something to cry about. You just get scared to wind up showing any kind of emotion, and then
and then you've got families that don't hug their kids. And,
right. We can't show emotions here.
But that's been going on for a long time. Like there have been abusive families and all that. Jody, I wish we had more time to talk to you about this. Call in another night because we're out of time. You called right at the end of the show.
It's one of those compound interest sort of things.
Thank you for the call tonight. All right, so if you want to join us between now and tomorrow night, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. Hop into the Discord. There's chats going on there all the time at discord.lrn.fm, and we'll see you.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.49 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $38, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,510. Antiwar.com reports Syria's latest offensive in the Damascus suburb of East